Hello and welcome to the Talk with Tariro. As we are approaching March, which is Women's Month, for the next weeks, 2-3 weeks to come, we are going to be bringing in women from different facets of life to come and share their experiences. What we want to do is, yes, we are going to be celebrating International Women's Day in March, but at the same time, it is, as a month, Women's Month. And so we are looking at different issues pertaining to women, not just their health, but we are looking at the complete well-being of a woman. And today, what we are looking at is the issue of branding. For you as a woman to be competitive in this environment, to stand out, there is an issue of branding. What exactly are we talking about when we are saying branding? Who better to help us address this issue than a holistic leadership expert? That's Nyaradzo Vicky Mavindidze. Nyari, welcome to the talk.
Thank you, Tari, for having me.
Yes. As a holistic leadership expert, my own interpretation is telling me that when you're looking at leadership, you're looking at it holistically. Indeed. And for me, branding is one issue that would come into me as being looked at holistically. Could you unpack for us branding? What exactly is it? Mainly targeting at us as women when we are saying you need to be branded as an individual.
Well, personal branding primarily is the art of shaping public perception. So personal branding is an art. It's not just something that you do. As women, as leaders in the marketplace, we have to be very intentional, and personal branding is holistic. It's not just how you appear at work, it's how you live your life, it's how you speak, how you walk, how you talk, how you dress. It's what you drink, what you eat is all part of your brand. And you'll find that if you want to be successful in the marketplace, you actually have to sit back and intentionally brand yourself and decide how are you going to represent yourself to receive the results that you want to achieve in the marketplace.
So you have talked about what you eat, what you drink, how you walk. Explain further in terms of how am I supposed to walk? How am I supposed to what am I supposed to eat? What am I supposed to drink for me to become this brand that is then known?
Basically, it starts from knowing yourself, who you are, and the space that you fit in. You also have to define what results you want to get in your career, what area you want to master, what is going to be your niche area. Then you start with the end in mind, then you begin to brand yourself. So people who are in politics, people who are in governance, in leadership, and people in the arts sector brand themselves differently, the way they conduct themselves, the way they dress. So
How?
you just don't wake up.
Somebody watching is like, how, Nyari? You say like, I want to be known as, what can I say, as an academic. How do I brand myself?
For example, when I came in, what did you say to me when you saw me? You were surprised because?
Yes, I said, Nyari, first time to see you wearing red.
Yes.
Because normally I see you in black.
That's my brand color, that's my work color. So I usually am always in black. So that's how I've defined my color. So whenever I appear for work, I'm dressed in black, in something black, and there's certain colors that I work with. So when I say it's intentional, it starts from when you go and buy clothes. I just won't wake up and buy your dress or somebody else's dress because I like the color or because it looks nice on you. Does it fit in with the brand that I want to portray? So as a woman in my sector, it's a male-dominated sector.
Yes.
The decision makers are male. And I have to brand myself to look serious, classy, and smart. So I can't wear floral prints as much as I could. So I chose black as my brand color. So every time I go shopping, I'm shopping with my brand and my work in mind. Does this represent my brand? When I go out there, when I get a hairstyle, I just don't color my hair or get any hairstyle because that hairstyle has to speak to my brand. What you'll find, especially in this day and age, young millennial women are missing it because they've been influenced by the pop culture. So you find somebody who wants to develop a corporate career with a hairstyle where the sides of their heads are shaven or it's a mohawk. Well, that's fine if you're in the arts culture. Rihanna looks like that because she gets paid to entertain us. But if you're going to be an executive in a C-suite, in a corner office, you can't afford to have that hairstyle. So hairstyles are not just about what's in fashion. Hairstyles are not just about who's doing what. Hairstyles are pretty much about, am I speaking to my brand? I always tell women when I train, are you dressing for power or for sex? Because if you want to occupy the powerful offices, you have to conduct yourself as a powerful person. Even the way you conduct your social life, there's certain places that you can't go, that you can't be, because they don't speak to the brand that you want to
Like
portray.
what?
Have you, maybe you probably wouldn't be able to answer my question, but have you ever seen female powerful executives in nightclubs? But you do see socialites in nightclubs because they're socialites, they're paid to entertain. So if you're building a brand that you want to be taken seriously in a certain sector, there's nothing wrong with going to nightclubs or any choice of entertainment that entertains you. But remember, I said it's the art of shaping public perception.
Yes.
So there are places that you can't be seen. There are people that you can't be seen with.
Huh?
There are things that you can't be seen doing. That's how serious branding is, because it's an art. You have to master it. So you have to be very intentional. To say, this is where I'm going. Who am I going to talk to? How am I going to talk to them? How am I going to dress? Because this is the image that I want to portray. This is how I want to be treated. This is what I'm going to drink. If it's water that you're having, if it's orange juice that you're having, when you go out for dinner, I tell my clients, you're headhunted and you're invited for a luncheon as a client. Your prospective employer is wanting to tell what type of a person you are. So you just don't order rice and chicken, because that's very generic and vanilla and everybody orders rice and chicken. So it's intentional. So the food you eat is intentional.
Well, we will continue unpacking this issue. When you go out for dinner, you don't just order rice and chicken. And the way I love chicken, and usually it's, okay, quarter chicken and chips.
No.
We'll continue after the break. Join us. Welcome back. We continue with our discussion where after the break we learned that what you eat when you go for dinner, branding is intentional. So for you as an individual, even the people that you associate with will define your brand. Nyari, one thing I want you to stress to us, you've talked about the issue of hairstyles. You know, now if you look at braids, you see blue, yellow, orange, all sorts. And sometimes in offices, you would see somebody like that. I want you to explain further on that, because for us as women, we are the major culprits. And then after that, I would also want to go to the issue of makeup for branding.
Well, the hairstyles thing is a headache, because we're going into a new age where we're influenced by pop culture. So millennials are the corporates, but mature women are also corporates as well, culprits as well, because I don't know if it's wanting to keep up with the times, with the fashion, and wanting to look good and keep up with everybody. I don't know. But I always use this example. If you watched in the 2 terms that Barack Obama was president, how many hairstyles did you see Michelle with?
One, two.
Why? Do you think that she's not fashion forward? But that was part of her brand. Because a brand is something that is trusted, that is consistent. So you have to always give the consistent picture and image. Already I shocked you today. I'm not dressed in black. And you're like, oh, Nyari. Because every time you expect to see me, you expect to see me in black. It's like Coca-Cola. No matter how many bottle shortages they have, they'll never tell you that, oh, don't worry, we've decided to package our Coke today in a in a Tarino bottle because we've run out of shortages, we've run out of bottles. Just buy it's Tarino. It's not Tarino, it's Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola is consistently packaged the way it is packaged. So we can't lose our professionalism, especially in the professional sector, because we want to be hip and happening. We want to keep up with the times. You have to decide what defines you, and your hair color has to be as close as possible to your natural color in the office, and especially at work.
There is the issue of, for a lot of us as ladies, very controversial issue of makeup. For me as a brand, how should I be made up?
I think there's makeup for different things. There's makeup for TV, like you have on right now. There's makeup for weddings, there's day makeup, and there's makeup for work. And I think makeup for work should be toned down, should be professional. Because as a woman, you're not selling your looks. You're not selling your face, you're not selling your body, you're not selling sex. You want to be taken seriously for what's behind your ears. So you don't want to draw attention away from your strengths and your attributes and get yourself objectified because you're too bright and out there. So there's nothing wrong with makeup, but it has to be, if it's makeup for work, it has to be toned down, it has to be professional. If you're going to wear bright lipstick, then you don't do your eyes. If you're going to do your eyes, then you go nude on your lips. But whatever the case is, there has to be a balance between being feminine as a woman, but also portraying the image that you want to be portrayed.
There is one issue where the world has become so competitive. The work environment, we are going for interviews, it's men and women, it's a dog eat dog. And usually people say your first appearance is what counts. Then whatever you're going to be saying will complement how you entered that particular room. Walk us through that.
Well, you only have one chance to make a first impression, and it's made within 30 seconds. The first impression is made from the gut. People make first impressions from their experience, from their culture, from their values and their beliefs. So somebody walks into this place, we will all have a different impression of them based on our experiences and our gut. So the idea is to always put your best foot forward so that you make the right impression, and you dress and present yourself in the way you want to be perceived, as someone who's capable, who's intelligent, who's serious about the work that they are supposed to deliver. Your posture as you walk in with your stomach tucked in, head high, you sit down, you tuck yourself in, and you sit upright. So that is very important, because that's how you make a first impression. You have to look confident. Your handshake is part of your brand. If your handshake is not firm, it says something about you. If your hand firm is too firm, it says something about you.
So it has to be what?
It has to be firm enough. Not a bone crusher and not a weak one. Definitely not that.
It has to be?
It has to be firm.
Okay, like this.
Yes.
Okay, all right. And in terms of the colors that I need to wear, because some of these things we take them lightly, but you then hear this plays a part.
Yes. You don't have to look too bright, so dark colors are the best. And you must always wear a jacket for an interview. And if you're going to wear a bright colored
Even when
top,
it's blazing hot?
yes, you wear a jacket.
Okay.
No sleeveless, no short sleeve, no spaghetti straps. Yes. So you wear a jacket, the darker the better, black, navy, gray, nothing bright. And maybe you can go bright on your accessories. If it's a blouse or a top that you're wearing that is a different color that is bright, you could probably go bright on your shoes. But a jacket is very important, unless if it's a dress and it's 3/4 sleeves.
Then how do I speak during that interview process?
Eye contact is very important. You maintain eye contact. You smile enough, not too much. Because you don't want to look like an idiot. Yes, you're already giggling. Of course, there's going to be moments in the interview that require laughter. But eye contact is very important because that's a sign of confidence. You answer what you've been asked. And if it's a panel interview, you answer facing the person who's asked you the question.
Yes, we are getting into a period where we are celebrating women during Women's Month, and we are having women being empowered. And today we decided really to empower ourselves holistically, looking at how do we stand out within this competitive environment through building ourselves as brands. And once you are known as a brand, it becomes easy even to market yourself. Join us after the break. We continue with our discussion where, yes, we are getting into Women's Month. We are celebrating women, and one way of celebrating ourselves is through empowering ourselves. Yes, we need to stand out. Today, our look is at ease of branding ourselves as women. Nyari, we are living in a world which has become the digital age, and we have our presence on social media. And usually, that's where we tend to lose it. I want you to take us through how best do I maintain my brand as somebody who needs to be known for this, because half the time we become this, we are that, we are that. How can I use my social media effectively as a brand?
Terry, there you got it right. A lot of the times I watch people on social media and I green, but I don't judge because they're living out their brands. But I suspect that they're not intentional and they're not aware. When you get serious about branding, what you say, wherever you say it, is important. Starting from your profile picture on your social media pages. Are they portraying your end game? Are they portraying your brand? When somebody looks at your social media page, is it saying what you want them to hear? So whichever way you conduct yourself on social media, always come back to say, what is my brand? So it always starts from defining what your brand is. You'll notice that on all my social media pages, I haven't changed my profile picture in years.
Yes.
And I only post things that have to do with my work. I hardly post personal things. I hardly like to get tagged and get pictures taken unless if it's professional, unless if it's portraying my brand. It doesn't mean that I don't have a life.
Yeah.
So I do go out and I have fun with my friends, but that's not what I want the world to know about me. That's not what I want them to know about my life. So I constantly put what I want to shape people's perception. So you'll find that now people get into fights on social media.
Yeah.
Who you follow on social media is important. What you comment on is also part of your brand. So just be careful, because social media is entertaining. Facebook, Twitter, and all those pages are very entertaining. Yeah. So sometimes we get carried away. We see a very important, funny, controversial discussion, and we put in our 2 cents there. But is that part of your brand image? Is that how you want people to perceive you? Is that how you want people to be remembered and known for? So sometimes we get into... So when a prospective employer or investor is looking out for you, you will put out your profile, you put out your CV and tell them I'm A, B, C, D. Then they will go into your social media, they'll look at who you follow, who follows you, and the conversations that you have and interactions that you have, not just what you post. So all those things play a part. So it's entirely, branding is an issue of personal choice. That's why it's called personal branding. So you choose how you want to be perceived and treated by the world. So socialites are there to entertain us, and they provide most of the media. And if you want to be in that arena, then go ahead, post, entertain, interact. But if you don't want to be in that arena, post on what's important that shows who you are and the value that your brand brings to the world.
But as a brand also, there are times that I have to be social, enjoying myself. And when we are saying social media, it's that social that sometimes you just feel like, okay, yeah, let me share that social. It can't just be serious. As much as I'm building myself as a serious brand. But there are also times that I'm sure a lot of people watching are like, but there's also that other side of us, that the fun side of...
And you know what? That's why I said there's nothing wrong with people sharing, but watch what you're sharing, who you're sharing it with. That's also very important. Okay. I also have my personal brand policy is the world doesn't need to know what's going on in my life. Okay. But if that's this person, it's also a personality issue. I'm a very private person. But if you're a person who's extroverted and you like to interface and interact that way, there's nothing wrong. As long as you follow the rules of branding, consistency, and yes. And
Can
the
I be a
confidence is out there.
multi-brand? Is that
No, you can't be a
you
multi-brand.
can't be a multi-brand.
That's confusing. That's confusing. Because you can't be one thing one day and the other. So I'm not a model. I'm not a socialite. So you'd never see me posing for pictures or posting pictures where I've posed. But it's okay for somebody who's a model and a socialite to post that, because that's how they grow
Yeah.
their brands. That's how they make money. So it really pretty much depends on which brand you are. But sometimes you find people across the divide just
Yes.
doing whatever
Yeah.
they're doing.
We just follow the
Whatever people are doing, there's a
Yes.
fight there, you go in, you put in your 2 cents, you're commenting. It says something about you.
Yeah.
It says something about the things that you follow, the things that are important to you.
So as we wrap up the show, I want you to zero in on the take home message. What you would say, this is your take home message as women. We are getting to a period where we are saying this is our whole month. International Women's Day will come, but the whole month of March, which is coming, is International Women's. It's Women's Month, and we are saying as women, this is time to build ourselves. This is time to assert ourselves. What would you say? This is my take-home message to women.
I would say to women out there, there's only a space that only you can fill. And through personal branding, find out who you are. Don't try to be like anybody else, because there's only a few things that only you can do, and nobody does it as well as you do. So find yourself and find your brand and live a brand-driven life. That's the only way you can succeed. That's the only way that you can be happy, if you're true to yourself and true to your brand.
Emphasize again, how do we become true to our brand?
Knowing who you are, knowing what you want to achieve, and accepting that and running in your own lane.
Yes, you heard it. You need to know who you are. Stay in your own lane, run your own race as a woman. Stand out as a brand as we celebrate ourselves during Women's Month. As women, asserting ourselves, standing out, claiming our space, reclaiming it. Let's ensure that we know who we are as brands. Until next week, it's goodbye.